You know, I sparred him twice.
Right. And Bill
took him out the ring. I almost knocked him out in Floyd gym. Did they tell you that?
TankDavis says he already dropped Shakur Stevenson in sparring and left him helpless on the canvas. But now, with the whole boxing world watching, the real question is finally here. What happens when they meet for real inside the ring? This rivalry has gone way beyond trash talk. Shakur refuses to even mention Tank's name in interviews, but at the same time, he admits that if there's a problem between them, it can only be solved one way, by fighting. And the scary part? Every boxing legend seems divided on who actually wins. Roy Jones Jr. says Shakur's discipline, defense, and ring IQ could make him unbeatable. Terrence Crawford believes Tank will struggle to even touch him. Sean Porter warns fans not to underestimate Stevenson because knocking him out is almost impossible. But then you hear the other side. Canelo Alvarez backing Tank's explosive power. Rolly Romero saying Shakur's movement won't save him once Tank starts cutting off the ring. And Leonard Ellerb revealing the real reason this mega fight still hasn't happened. The tension is insane. Two undefeated stars. Two completely different styles. One fighter with terrifying knockout power. The other with defensive skills many call the best in boxing today. Some believe Tank's explosiveness will break through eventually. Others think Shakur is simply too smart, too technical, and too sharp to lose. Even Shakur himself admitted that training around Tank showed him how dangerous Davis really is behind closed doors. According to Stevenson, Tank's timing, counters, and punching power are on another level. But despite all that respect, Shakur still wants the fight more than anything. Now fans everywhere are asking the same question. Is TankDavis powerful enough to finally crack the code of Shakur Stevenson? Or will Shakur expose Tank in the biggest fight of this generation? One thing is guaranteed. When these two finally step into the ring, boxing may never be the same again.
And then he was scared. No, I got in the ring, one hand in there, and came out victorious.
But real boxers, real people, fans of you and the sport,
but it's people out there that really painted an image as if like you'll see the memes. They got a meme of me like I'm running this shit. But like, come on,
it's the memes. It's memes. It's memes.
You know what it is.
The memes.
No, like they got them shits, and it's like they painted an image as if like I'm not who I am. But I know who I am, so it's like, okay.
Timothy Bradley praised Shakur Stevenson's skills as a future fighter while attacking Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis at the same time. Bradley said they scolded Tank for staying out of big fights, but they weren't fighting each other either. Tim also said that Tank couldn't be blamed alone if none of them stood up to question each other.
There was a time where you guys were pretty cool, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What changed?
Competition. As you get older, you start to know what competition is, and he kind of looked at me like I feel like I was a threat, which is rightfully so. Like I don't blame him for the way that he looked at me, but it is what it is. It's two guys that just want to be the best in our sport, and we were ready to lay it all on the line.
Did he say to you like, "Yo, I don't want to be friends," or "We can't," or is it just like a gradual thing where it started to become more distant?
Now you just know it.
Rolando Romero asked Shakur Stevenson if he was strong enough to handle GervontaDavis's strength. Romero said that Shakur's careful performance against Edwin de los Santos was bad because he moved around the ring too much during the fight. Rolly said that going up against a powerful puncher like Davis would only make things worse. He said that Stevenson would have a hard and terrible time.
Talented too, bro. And let me take it even further. You guys are complaining about Tank. I'm not fighting you guys and seeing how great he can be. Well, it's like I can put y'all in the same sentence as Tank. Since y'all don't want to fight each other. Y'all ain't no better than Tank.
When it came to Stevenson's fighting style, Romero saw that Shakur Stevenson was very good at using technique. Romero said that Shakur might be the most polished pure fighter of this generation and praised his clean approach and sharp techniques. Despite this, Rolly said that Shakur often focused on control instead of killing opponents. He thought that a fighter with that much skill should push the action harder and try to end the fight quickly.
Edwin De Los Santos or GervontaDavis? Who's a bigger puncher?
Gervonta.
Okay, and Shakur jumped around the ring like a grasshopper with De Los Santos. Do you think that's gonna happen again with Gervonta?
Well, he was hurt. He had an injured hand.
Yeah, his coochie hurt. Anyways, do you think he's gonna jump around and be on? But he might jump out the ring.
You think so, bro? I'm not.
But if he out with De Los Santos, you think he's not gonna out even more with Gervonta? An explosive puncher with Shakur's frail ass hands who can't even crack and
Shakur Stevenson told Stephen A. Smith that he was sure of his boxing position during a chat. Stevenson said that he didn't need a special opponent to show how great he was because he believed that his achievements spoke for themselves. When they talked about dream fights, Shakur said which one he was most looking forward to. Stevenson said that Tank was the opponent he wanted to fight the most, and he thought that the whole boxing world would be interested in the fight.
see, I want to see him actually try.
I mean, again, you're entitled to your opinion. I can't, you know what I mean? Like
I said, Shakur is a tremendous boxer.
He is.
He is of our generation. He might be the best clean-cut boxer there is. There's no he's for sure the most clean-cut boxer of our generation. But he doesn't even try to knock people out.
Well, maybe it's because
it's a waste of time.
Chris Algieri, who used to be a kickboxer, played down the fight between Shakur Stevenson and GervontaDavis. He talked about how strong Tank's one punch is and how Davis often starts slowly while assessing his opponent. Algieri said Stevenson might have the best fighting IQ, distance control, and ability to disarm opponents in the world. He also said that both fighters are at the top of their games and need to fight before they get to their early 30s, which makes this fight very important for their futures.
A lot of money, so for me, I really don't even like.
You don't
talk
need
about
anybody. Even Terrence Crawford felt he needed Canelo. Even Terrence Crawford felt he needed Errol Spence. He needed those big fights. There's not a big fight that you think you need.
I don't need nobody.
Nobody.
I think that at the end of the day, if things gonna make sense, it's gonna make sense, and I'm just following God's plan.
Is there a particular fight that you want more than any other fight out there?
That fight that you just said, I would love to fight still to this day, but
which one, Garcia or Gervonta?
Not a fight you just said.
Gervonta. That's what I want.
I would love to fight.
Roy Jones Jr., an American who used to be a professional boxer, thinks Shakur Stevenson will win because he is disciplined both in and out of the ring. Roy said that Stevenson had already shown interest in Edwin De Los Santos, while Gervonta TankDavis had had trouble being consistent at times. Anyway, Jones made it clear that TankDavis was a very dangerous opponent in the sport when his mind was fully focused. Davis's skills and natural intangibles made him very dangerous.
Now, if he does get that Tank fight, how do you see that fight?
That's a whole nother story. Now we're talking, like we were talking about it. People are like, I think Tank's trainer. Like, this is not a 50-50 fight because Tank has that one-punch power. If Shakur falls behind, how's he going to get back? Well, Shakur doesn't generally fall behind, and Davis tends to start slow. He's picking up, he's analyzing what's going on. He's a very high boxing IQ as well. People don't give him credit for that. Tank can box. But Shakur's ability to, like I said, to judge distance and disarm his opponents is his best ability. Probably the best in the world at doing that. That's a matchup, man, that it needs to happen. It needs to happen soon. These guys can't be 34 years old when this fight happens. They need to be doing this, sub 30. I know Tank's almost 30 now.
Roy Jones Jr. continued his analysis by saying that Shakur Stevenson's defensive strategy helped him get out of fights with few injuries, so he could stay busy without having to worry about long recovery times. Roy said that Stevenson was always ready for big games because of this edge. Jones thought that the fight with Devin Haney would be close because many of the fighters knew each other well from practice sessions in the past. Even so, Roy said that Shakur's next tests should be against either GervontaDavis or Keyshawn Davis.
Sure wins it because of his discipline, because he showed against Teofimo that stay very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally. So it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with discipline. But we have never seen Shakur have problems with this. We've seen him be more disciplined at the right times than we've seen him not have discipline. So with the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, TankDavis would be that person because of his intangibles. When Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right, Tank's a problem for anybody. Tank can fight better than most people think.
Looking ahead to the possible fight, Sean Porter thinks that the best fights usually bring out the best in fighters. Porter said that a fighter shows real intelligence when he or she has to change their plan based on what the other boxer is doing. Sean talked about his fight with Terence Crawford and said that both of them had to change during the fight. Porter thinks that Gervonta TankDavis will show a different side of himself when he fights Shakur Stevenson. Davis will be more focused and ready to meet Stevenson's style.
Like, why can't he keep fighting? He ain't getting hurt. He was having a rough life with black eyes and bruised ribs and stuff. Then you got to not fight some of those kind of fights. But nobody can push him to that point yet. So he can fight whoever he needs to fight.
What would him and Devin look like in the ring?
It looks like a good fight because, you know, the good thing about all these kids nowadays is most of them have sparred one another and they know each other pretty good. So with them knowing each other like that, they're going to be competitive matches because they've already sparred. They know what they're looking for. Coming up in the amateurs, that's what costs a lot of guys because they go to those amateur camps and they spar with all these other guys. But one day y'all will be pro. A lot of y'all will be the same way.
When asked about the possible matchup, Sean Porter said that a lot of people were wrong to think that Gervonta TankDavis would easily beat Shakur Stevenson. Porter said Stevenson is one of the hardest fighters to knock down because of how well he defends and how much he knows about the ring. Sean also said Tank seemed to have seen Shakur's talent a long time before most other people did. Porter thought that a fight between Davis and Stevenson would be nervous and strategic, and that both fighters would need to be at their best the whole time.
Those are the kind of people that's going to pull it out of them. So with a fight with Shakur, you're going to see this boxing style that you don't usually get from Tank. You're going to see IQ. We saw IQ, but to me, it was low IQ because the reason why it was low IQ is because everybody followed the script. And what I mean by that is you see somebody's IQ take place when a fighter makes an adjustment and now you have to adjust to what that fighter is doing. And that's kind of where you see
who's smart,
you know what I mean?
Who get a hold of it.
I think my fight with Terrence shows a very high level of IQ from both of us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's what Tank is going to do with Shakur. He's going to come into the ring and be a different version of...
Terence Crawford said that Gervonta TankDavis was a very skilled boxer who was strong and good at boxing. Crawford said he admired Tank's fighting skills, even though they didn't always agree on other things. He said that a fight between Stevenson and Davis would be very close, a real 50-50 match. Crawford did say, though, that he thinks Shakur Stevenson will win.
Said everybody thinks that Tank is gonna go in there and just knock out Shakur. It's gonna
That's not gonna happen.
But it didn't take. It shouldn't have taken this fight.
I knew he couldn't.
For people to realize.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew that too. But yeah,
Shakur is a defensive specialist.
And I've been saying this for a long time. If you pay attention to how Tank would react whenever Shakur's name came up, I was like, yo, it's something that Tank knows that most people don't know or understand. There's something that he sees in Shakur. It could be the fact that Shakur was a 2016 silver medalist. You know,
he might got a lot to do with it.
He's that, you know, the silver child of the country, and you know, there's no telling. But this is what I've always known. It ain't just a big straight left or a big right hook coming from Tank that's going to end that night. That night is going to be the most strategical you've seen both these guys ever be.
Terence kept thinking about it. Crawford talked about how Shakur Stevenson was a different kind of fighter. Crawford said that some fans thought Stevenson was boring or questioned his strength, but that the same thing was said about Floyd Mayweather's defensive approach. In the same way that Tank had trouble hitting other opponents, Crawford thought Tank would have a hard time hitting Shakur. Crawford also told the crowd that Stevenson has won world titles in different weight classes in the past, showing how successful he is in the sport.
You know, I respect him as a fighter. Yeah. You know, he definitely got skills, he got power, he got tremendous boxing ability, but like his core personality and his ways, nah.
Okay. Obviously, your little brother, you know what I'm saying, Shakur, that's the fight. Everybody want to see that. That's the 50-50, I think, you know what I'm saying? I've been saying 50-50. I told both of them that. That's a toss-up to me. No bias. Don't just say that because it's your man. Who you got winning that?
I got Shakur.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Boxing, he's one of the ones.
Canelo Alvarez talked about a fight between Shakur Stevenson and GervontaDavis. Stevenson was a skilled fighter who moved quickly and was very hard to hit, according to Alvarez. But in the end, Alvarez changed his mind and supported Davis, noting Davis's strength and determination to move forward. Canelo finally said that if he had to bet on the match, he would back Davis.
Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else. And he know that. He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done, so it's not marketable. But he can't do that because Shakur is what, 3-weight world champion?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
how many actual real titles have Shakur? I mean,
Abdullah Mason, a rising fighter, talked about the fight and said that he would have liked Shakur Stevenson better if it happened. Mason said that Tank's most recent fight has changed how he thinks about the fight. Abdullah said he didn't think Lamont Roach would do that well, especially since he had just gotten Tank's power and was still fighting back. Mason said that moment showed that Tank could be pushed further than many of his fans had thought before.
You had to put money on the fight. I know you don't bet on fights. And the fight was GervontaDavis against Shakur Stevenson. Who would you say would win?
Look, Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter. He moves a lot, and it's very difficult to get hit. To hit him. But I like GervontaDavis.
Okay.
He's a really good fighter. He hits hard, and he knows how to go forward. So I put my money on Gervonta.
Because of money, Leonard Ellerb explained why Shakur Stevenson and GervontaDavis haven't fought yet. Ellerb said, Davis is up against every top contender. However, not all fights can happen at the same time. He said that Top Rank had its own light plans and that Bob Arum's approach decided the timing, not what was said in public. Ellerb says that a Stevenson matchup has to fit into that system, which is why we have to wait.
The last Tank fight, I'm probably leaning towards Shakur in that one.
Wow, were you surprised at Roach's performance against Tank?
I didn't expect Roach to be as sharp. I knew he was coming with some good work. I knew he could fight. I actually fought his little brother in the amateurs, back then. And I knew that Roach, I knew that he could fight. But before that fight, I'm thinking, Tank was going to kind of do what Roach did. But Roach, I feel like he was a little bit sharper.
Right. What surprised me was his chin, because usually no one could take a flush shot from Tank.
Just recently, Shakur Stevenson talked about how he spent time training with GervontaDavis and how that helped him understand how much work is needed to fight at the highest level of boxing. Stevenson said that being around fighters and teachers who are getting ready for Davis shows how serious the work is that goes on behind the scenes. At that level, training camps are very hard, with a focus on speed, timing, fitness, and studying every part of an opponent's game. Stevenson said Tank is one of the most dangerous fighters in the lightweight class because of his powerful punches and accurate counterpunches. He said that anyone who wants to fight Tank needs to be mentally and physically ready.
Hey,
7, 3. That's 3 for him. Oh, right, he did pass. 5 seconds.
What around, Jim? What around?
How many you got?
At the moment, all eyes are on Shakur Stevenson and GervontaDavis as they get ready for their big fight. Legends like Roy Jones Jr. praise Stevenson's defense, skill, and understanding of the ring. Nello talks about how strong Tank is and how persistent his push is. Abdullah Mason and other rising stars see Shakur as a real threat, and Leonard Ellerb explains why the fight hasn't happened yet because of time and business strategy. Stevenson is a tough opponent because he is focused, disciplined, and has good skill, but Tank's explosiveness makes the game more dangerous because they are angry at each other. Every punch and move is important. Fans are tensed up because they think this could become a classic. Please subscribe, like, and leave a message with your guesses. You shouldn't miss this fight.